أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم dear students. I welcome you all once again to another session of our video lecture series, and today inshallah we'll have lecture number 4 of chapter number 3. In our today's lecture we'll have discussion on audit program and its advantages. So let's begin with the discussion or definition of the audit program, the understanding of the audit program, and inshallah in the second half of the lecture we'll have discussion on the advantages of audit program. So this lecture is basically, if you become future auditors, this lecture will help you understand what audit program is and how this audit program is prepared, and also what advantages are there of this audit program that can help you go ahead with the proper audit process. Okay. On the other hand, if you become businessman or you work as an employee in an organization, you basically should have a clear understanding of how an auditor makes a program, and as a company how can you benefit yourself from that program, and what preparations should you have before the audit process commences. Okay, let's talk about the audit program. Before commencing the auditor should plan his work. So that is over without delay. This process, basically the process of planning for the audit work ahead by the auditor, that is basically the audit program. That planning is called audit program. So in order to have a detailed plan, in order to plan the activities, the tasks that the auditor and his team will be carrying out in the audit process in the future, in order to have a proper planning, the auditor chalk out a detailed program explaining the procedure to be followed for the audit, tasks carried out by the auditor and his team, also distribution of different tasks to different audit team members. So all this planning is called audit program. The audit program explains the work to be done by the audit staff as well. So what do basically the audit program do, and what are included in the audit program or in the planning of the audit program by the auditor? Number one is what procedures are going to be followed by the audit team and the auditor during the audit. Also, what work will be carried out by the audit staff, and also the distribution of work, so there is no delay. On daily basis, what work is carried out. So everything is properly planned, and that planning is called audit program. Now let's talk about the definition of the audit program. It says a detailed plan of the audit work performed, specifying procedure to be followed in the verification of each item in the financial statements, and giving estimated time required to fulfill or carry out each task and each verification. It means that the auditor has a big roadmap. It's a roadmap basically, where each and every single street, each and every single home, the owner of that home, everything is specified. That is called roadmap. Similarly, the auditor prepares a roadmap for the audit work. where he mentions and identifies and describes and determines each and every activity, and that who is going to be carrying out that activity, on what date, how long it should take. Everything is written down properly in a logical and chronological order. That becomes the audit program, which becomes a document, a plan, which are then further followed by the auditor and his team while they are completing or carrying out the audit process. So all the auditors throughout the world, before they start audit, they have an audit program or audit planning, and they do their audit tasks according to the audit program, according to the audit planning, while they practically start the audit work. Right? An audit program is basically a statement or a plan giving instructions and guidance to the audit staff as to the audit procedure. It arranges and distributes the work among the audit staff. So that is basically the other job of the audit program. It is basically a statement. That's the other definition. This statement gives instructions and guidance to whom? To the audit staff, with regards to the procedure, with regards to distribution of work, with regards to deadlines and time, and with regards to the verification and different procedures carried out by the audit staff. Okay, let's go ahead. What are the advantages of audit program? There are 5 main advantages. Number 1, it provides the audit staff clear instructions about their duties. So there is no duplication of work. Each individual audit team member knows his duties and his obligations. He knows what activities are carried out by him, so they do not repeat or do each other's work in repetition, results in saving of time. Promotes division of work in a well organized manner. Number 3, it helps the auditor to monitor the progress of the audit work. It helps the auditor basically mentor all the activities, and he knows where has the audit process reached, what % of the audit has been completed, and what % of the work is left. So he knows everything going on in the audit process. It will be easier to fix responsibilities for omission and commission. If everything is specified from the beginning, it's easier for the auditor to increase the responsibility of one member and to decrease the responsibility of other member. Or in case of omission or commission, for example, in case one of the audit team member gets sick, so auditor knows to whom to handle his responsibilities, right? Or if there is a need of commissioning other team member, other auditor has a clear idea of who to bring in and what responsibility and tasks that person is going to be carrying out further. So there is no delay in the audit work. Everything is clear. Number 5, it serves a valuable evidence for the audit work. As I earlier mentioned, it becomes an authentic document showing that how an audit work was carried out, how perfectly, how strongly an audit work and audit process was carried out. So these are the 5 main advantages. We have some other advantages as well. It serves as a guide for the future auditor and for the future audit as well. In case upcoming year the same auditor comes to the company and audits, so he already has a plan. He can just make minor changes without any wasting of more time. He can go ahead and start the audit process. or if in case a new auditor comes, for him it's a guide enabling him how to basically prepare a plan and audit program for this organization. It ensures the audit process in a systematic manner, step-by-step manner. It eliminates the inefficiency and saves time. The audit process becomes effective and efficient. In case of an audit assistant goes on leave, his work can be easily continued by others because the others know their own duties. The person who is on leave, his duties can be distributed among those other team members. It avoids duplication of work. So that is, there are 10. Okay. Now let's discuss, as an auditor, what should we do before commencing or starting, right, an audit process. The first thing is an auditor need to prepare an audit program. So as a company, what should we be prepared for before starting the audit? Or as an auditor, what should we do? What preparation should we do before starting an audit? Number one, if it's not statutory audit, he should find out the exact nature and scope of his duties. The auditor should know that what basically areas or what financial statements are going to be audited by him in case of a non-statutory audit. Okay, now let's talk about the statutory and non-statutory audit. Statutory audit is an audit by law which is clear to everyone in the world. There is no need for explanation for that because the law clearly mentions that what financial statements and what accounting and financial records should be investigated, right? So for that, auditor has no difficulty. But if it's not the statutory audit, auditor is not aware of what financial statements are going to be audited. So that's why he has to know his scope of work. Number two, he should inform his client to close all the book of account and keep them ready for verification. So the auditor has to inform the client, and as a company, we need to close all the book of accounts and prepare them for the verification, get them ready for the verification for the audit work to commence. He should acquaint himself with the nature of his client's business. Auditor should know, should do a background check, should go to their website, should get information from different sources. If possible, should visit the client and get himself acquainted, known to the location, to the building inside and all that. But if you are a business, we should also acquaint ourselves with the auditor and the company who's coming to audit our business. He should examine efficiency and internal control system of the company which is under audit. So we as a business, we should also be aware of our internal control system. We should make sure there is no efficiency in our internal control system, because if there is any inefficiency, the auditor will have a question on that. Okay, should obtain the names of director, their powers, their duties. So we know that the auditor will be asking for this. So as a business, we should prepare these things already. Should obtain a complete list of books and accounts maintained by the clients. So all the auditors, when they come to a company to audit, they need a list of books and documents maintained. So we as a company which are under audit, we have to prepare these things at the beginning. He should obtain a copy of previous year's audit report. If we have been audited previously, we need to have a copy of that and should hand over to the auditors. He should go through various documents like memorandum of association, articles of association, and prospectus. We know that auditor, before commencing the audit, they will ask us about the memorandum of association and articles of association MOA means Memorandum of Association. AOA means Articles of Association, and prospectus is basically it's a journal having information about the organization. It could be a 5 years report, it could be a 10 years report, it could be a 20 years report, or it could be more than that. Basically a journal which contains information about the organization from day one to the current time. So we know our auditors will ask about these documents. We have to prepare them at the beginning if we do maintain these documents, especially Articles of Association and Memorandum of Association. These two are very important for all the organizations, so they should have a copy of it, and they should know what they are writing in the Articles of Association, and their businesses according to that, and also they should make sure whatever they have mentioned in the Memorandum of Association, it's also applied and acted upon within the organization. Basically, Articles of Association, there are rules and regulations for the external people, for the world outside, for example, for the government and all that. This shows what type of business is this, and who is the owner of the business, and what activity they are carrying out. Memorandum of Association is the further elaboration of these rules, but this is for internally what should be done and how it should be done, what department should do what. So those information is available in the Memorandum of Association. Okay, so that's enough for today's lecture. That's all. I thank you very much for being with me. I hope you guys have clear understanding and clear idea of what audit program is and what are its advantages, right, and how it's prepared by the auditor, to what important aspects auditor is caring of while preparing the audit program, and how we call it a roadmap or a detailed plan. Right? There were 10 advantages of the audit program that we discussed them one by one, and also we discussed what do usually auditors do before commencing an audit, so that we are prepared for that as a company. Right? So that was all for today's lecture. Thank you so much. If you have any concerns, any questions in this lecture or for the previous lectures, lecture number 3 of this chapter, or lecture number 2 of this lecture, and lecture number 1 of this chapter, you are more than welcome to come back to me anytime and put forward your questions. I'll be more than happy to assist and will elaborate in a way that is easily understandable to you guys. So please stay home, stay safe. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.